that the right one? I don't know. I can't tell. I am definitely lagging. There is definitely an issue here. Testing, testing. Bitrate too low. Well, I am using a wired connection this time. There it goes. It says my mic is up. Okay, I am using a wired connection. Hopefully that stops the constant disconnecting so I don't have to stream the same thing. The same stream goes for 3 different separate streams. Hello, everybody. Hello, Blazing Hogs. Let's make you a moderator real quick. Everyone in the chat gets to be a mod. Not the YouTube chat. Everyone in the texting group gets to be a fucking mod. And everyone else can go fuck themselves, as it were. Standard. Let's pause that, because I don't need this slowing my computer down. Okay, I think we are ready to go here. Faggots and N-words. Nick Merkers. Starting strong today. And I don't even have a beer. I was going to go get myself a beer before the stream started, but it's kind of been downpouring. Of course, now that I start the stream, it has stopped raining, so I can't go get one. I mean, I could. Theoretically, I could. I could just say, fuck this, go get a beer, come back and start over. But I'm not going to do that, because I'm already in here. And I got some shit to get to before I get to the main topic, which is definitely Christian related. It's not about Christ. I named the stream Christ is King because, well, Christ is King, but I do have a bunch of shit I want to get to beforehand, so I kind of got to rush through it. Let's see. I think that can be turned up just a little, so I don't have to be Joe Roganing the whole time. My fucking bottom lip just resting on my pop filter here. That's disgusting. I bet you they do that at Bond. I bet you they when they have to share mics, so I bet you there's plenty of drool being swapped through those pop filters. Quiz. Speaking of, I woke up. I want to just start by saying this. My power went out last night because it was thunder and lightning all night. I didn't get much sleep because the fucking thunder kept waking me up. But then I woke up, the power was off. And what do I hear? What do I wake up to? The faggot living next door to me. I just hear... I was going to mix it up and say Gex noises, but you know what? I already said faggot. I was hearing faggot sex come straight through the wall. That's what I woke up to. Blazing Hogs already knows that. But anyone else that might jump on here and watch. Because I do get views after I stream, surprisingly. Now you get to understand what I woke up to this morning and how my day's gone. But let's get to it. We got a lot to cover here. I want to start off. I think I have it on the thumbnail, so let's try to get that displayed properly here. Is it going to? Or is it just going to be gay? It looks like it's being gay, so oh, that's why. Here we go. Let me, yeah, there we go. I don't know why my thumbnails always do this. A lot of shit always fucking does this, and it's so annoying. There we go. So that plane on the right in the thumbnail there is a design that I guess a defense producer by the name of Radia, I've never heard of them, is creating to basically be able to move entire squadrons of attack helicopters, fighter jets that are fully assembled. Let's get into it here. There's the C-5, the C-17. There's, the C-130, but everyone knows about that. These are significantly larger. These are meant to be able to transport 12 AH-64 Apache attack helicopters, 6 Chinook transport helicopters. That's insane. I've actually seen those in person. You're going to fit 6 of those into this thing? That is nuts. It just gives you an idea of how large this is. 6 Chinooks, 4 CV-22s, F-16s, or F-35C stealth fighters. Yeah, Radia, R-A-D-I-A. I've heard of a couple different defense contractors and companies the government works with. I've never heard of this one. It will be able to do so while being able to operate from approximately 1,800 meter unpaved runways. It has a lower maximum payload than the C-5. About half as much. 72,000 kilograms. Why are we measuring in queer Euro units? I thought this was America! The design will instead emphasize on a high internal volume, carrying larger items such as fully assembled aircraft, but being less suited to carrying high tonnages of supplies or ground forces such as main battle tanks. So this is just about... that would be cool if they could, from midair, if this thing could just drop those jets and then they can just take off from in midair. So it says 4 F-16 or F-35s. So it's just flying up there, whatever its altitude is. And you just see this... Oh, well, it loads from the front, so I don't think that would be able to work. The pilots are up there, too. Isn't that in the picture there? It looks like... Yeah, that's the front. The front of it just opens up, so that wouldn't work. That would be cool if you could do that, though. I found that to be interesting. That this is what lies in our future as far as our military and Air Force goes. I don't think it says its maximum altitude. They're probably not going to put too much information of it on the internet just yet. It hasn't even been made yet. This is going to be designated the WindRunner. Every picture of it online is just a rendering, so it's probably going to be another couple of years before this thing sees any actual deployments. And man, is it funny looking in these pictures. If you look them up when it's closed, it kind of just looks like a submarine with wings. But hey, I mean, if it works, I just always find this type of stuff fascinating. A couple other things I wanted to touch on. One other thing that's only going to take me a second. The other part of the thumbnail here. That's a Subaru Legacy. 36 years. That is the first 1989 model. They just let the final one roll off the assembly line earlier this week. Or earlier last week, maybe. Yeah, last week. And they're axing the Legacy, which makes sense, I guess. All these brands are getting rid of, flagship models that everyone knows, and they're coming up with new shit. I don't know. Kind of gay, if you ask me. I wasn't a big Subaru fan. I mean, they do have their cars that I like, and that old Legacy's one of them, and the Impreza, obviously. Other than that, the SVX. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. 3 cars they made that I actually like. And really, the Impreza is the only one I really like. While the Legacy was mostly known for its practicality, it had a few performance tricks up its sleeve. In 1989, Subaru flew 4 JDM spec Legacy RS sedans to the US and set an FIA endurance record, 62,137 miles at an average of 138 miles per hour. That record still stands in its engine category. The Legacy also laid the foundation for Subaru's rally heritage. Of course it did. because the Impreza wasn't out yet in 1989. The RS variant gave a young Colin McRae, anyone here into rally racers, you know that name, his first WRC win in 1993, helping launch Subaru into motorsport stardom. Now, the end of this article made me a little disappointed, but of course it's to be expected. The end of the legacy reflects a changing automotive landscape, not for the better. Sedans have steadily lost grounds to crossovers, gay, and SUVs, gay, and Subaru is shifting focus to meet evolving demand. With legacy production ending, Subaru will begin building the Forester and Forester Hybrid, which marks a new chapter focused on electrification and efficiency. Yeah, let's throw all the cool stuff out the window and make everything look faggy like the Prius. If they really want people to drive these electric cars, you think they wouldn't make them look so gay? I mean, I guess Tesla's trying, but Tesla made their their Model X or their Roadster, whatever it is, the two-door. I've never even seen one of those on the road. I only ever see the regular car and the little crossover looking thing. I've never seen the Roadster. Well, I see the Cybertrucks, but, you know, those are fucking gay. Everyone hates those. I'm convinced even the people who buy them hate them. They just do it to be ironic. How can you like that thing? It is the ugliest fucking piece of shit. Yeah, you got... I guess now a lot of manufacturers are trying to make cars that look normal, and they're electric. Took you long enough. I'm still not going to get one. I would never get one. It's gay. I don't like it. I would prefer to be able to possibly fix my own shit if something goes wrong. I'm sure that most men my age and probably older, because not much younger than me, people are going to be all into the electric shit. Most men my age and older probably feel the same way, as in, yeah, I'm not going to buy this piece of shit that I can't even work on. I'm not an electrical engineer. Even if I was, I can't imagine if something goes wrong with your Tesla, even if you know what you're doing, you can't work on it. You need to take it there. They have the special tools and the diagnostic equipment and all that. That's not the case, you know, with my scooter. Although I have taken it to a shop, that was due to needing it fixed now. Not having time to wait around on parts and trying to fix it myself. Most anything else that goes wrong with it, I can do myself. And I like that. And I can't do anything on a car, but I can do a lot of things on a car. Why would I want to take my shit to, like, there's people, I've seen it at the shop I bought my scooter from. People take it there for an oil change. It's like, do you know how fucking easy that is? Come on, dude. Come on. Get a little... You don't even need an oil pan. Cut the bottom off of a fucking milk carton. Slide it under there. Take one bolt out. Clean your little filter. Screw it back in. Pour the new oil in. And you're spending $80 on that? Takes like a quart of oil. It's like $10 at the store. You could spend $10, do it yourself. All you need is an 18mm socket wrench. But you're going to go give $70 more away to have someone else do it. Because people just don't know how to do it. They don't think, oh, I could change my own oil. People like my generation and younger that don't really know how to do anything because they're all terminally online, just, you know, Zoomers and Gen Alpha and older millennials or younger millennials, which is what I am. The older ones aren't so bad. But like my age and any younger than me, these people are fucked. They don't know what they're doing with anything. These are the ones that are going to be buying electric cars. And whenever something goes wrong, straight back to the dealer. Because no mechanic shop's going to know how to work on your Tesla. You can't take it to Bob up the street and you trust Bob. Because Bob used to work on your parents' cars and he's been in business for fucking 60 years. No, you got to go to the dealership so they can fuck you up the ass. I'm tired of the electrification. Most people are. But what are we going to do? We're going to move on to the next story. That's what we're going to do. And it's actually not really a story, just something I wanted to comment on because I said it. I said it. What did I say? Give it 2 fucking weeks. They're going to have that douchebag back on the air, which they never should have took him off for what he did. I said 2 weeks. ABC said, we're going to suspend him indefinitely. I said, what's indefinitely mean? 2 weeks? Didn't even make it 2 weeks. They're putting him back on the air tonight. Didn't even make it a week. Not even a week. And to add insult to injury, they didn't air the special of his funeral or wake or whatever it was they said they were going to air. That same night that it was airing, they posted on social media, said, well, we're going to only show it online. And they aired reruns of Celebrity Family Feud instead. Just goes to show how serious they were about it. They really didn't care, but, you know, we all knew that. I said it from the beginning. Alright, after that, because I did not want to spend any time talking about Charlie Kirk or Jimmy fucking Kimmel any longer than I had to. What else do we got here? There's 4 more stories, and then I can get into my main topic of Christianity here. Let's do this one. NPR says, wary of changes under Trump, citizen historians are documenting the Smithsonian. I'm sure we've all heard that Trump is changing displays or whatever they're called in museums. So I can find the word in the article because I'm a little retarded. Just a little. Well, they're changing what is displayed in museums because some of it is inherently anti-white, anti-American, too woke for an official government stance, and I think that the government should try to remain somewhat neutral in all of that. But of course, Biden and all them, they were just going to throw it all the way, you know, left of field, whatever, out, way, way, way out there. And now Trump's trying to undo that. And, you know, most of us would say, yeah, that's a good thing. We need to undo that. We don't need all that shit, especially coming from any official standpoint of the government. Let, you know, third-party organizations that really want to espouse those beliefs, let them do it. But to have it coming from the government. And now they're saying, oh, it's coming too far to the right now. Trump is, you know, extreme right-wing views in the government. It's like, well, that's democracy for you, man. It's going to keep swinging back and forth. There's no middle ground because nobody wants a middle ground. People want it their way. That's natural. That's how it should be. We shouldn't be swinging back and forth as we do. Democracy's a joke, but that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about these fucking Smithsonian museums. So these people, just regular average people, are all grouping together thinking they're going to get something done. They're going to all these museums and taking pictures to produce a record before any changes might be made due to the internal review coming from the Trump administration. This guy who is a big part of it, a Georgetown University professor, says, I'm a historian of China, so I'm really used to when governments are trying to step in and whitewash history and censor history. It really upset me to see this being threatened in the United States as well. Well, I mean, you're a historian, you're a professor, but you clearly ain't too bright because it's been going on really throughout all recorded history, let alone in the United States. History is written by the victor. We all know this. Everything's been fucking whitewashed. Everything's been modified. There's always details taken out, things rewritten. They took the Trail of Tears out of history books because it makes America look bad. They don't want to teach the future generation that. There's a book I read a long time ago that was like whitewashed history, and it told a lot of the shit that they leave out when they're teaching you history, American history especially, in school. And it's like, wait, then you look it up online and I'm like, this stuff's all true. Why would they leave it all out? Because they're whitewashing. But the problem is when the whitewashing is going on that pisses off one group of people, specifically these woke people, getting butthurt because their demonization of whites and of men. And, what's this? Mary MacLeod, Beth something, and black women's activism. Yeah, see, if that's going to be what's present in these Smithsonian, which is a government institution, museums, of course, people are going to be pissed off they go to that. I'd be like, if I went there, I'd be like, why would I want to see this? This is just all about upping up the blacks, let's make them feel better, and then we're going to make Whitey look like a fucking, like he crawled straight out of hell and just came upon the earth and started raping and killing everyone. It's kind of the opposite. We all know that, though. We all know that on this channel, at least. Citizen historians aim to do the same thing as Save Our Signs, which was created in response for the Trump administration's call for visitors to report signs in national parks that are negative about either past or living Americans. Hundreds of visitors photographed these signs to help create an archive of the signs said before any changes were made. I can understand that too. I mean, let the truth be known. I'm sure some of what they're doing right now is technically whitewashing. But it's not like the other side hasn't done it. It's not like they've demonized people that didn't deserve it. It's not like they're the ones that aren't tearing statues down, right? They're not the ones out there pitching a fit and if you fucking go over there and if you go anywhere near them and talk about why the Civil War really happened, they're just going to start screaming about slavery, and they're going to, depending on who you're around, you might get a level 5 chimp out. Always be careful when you talk about this stuff. Me, I'm safe in my little bubble on the internet, so I get to say what I want. This is a massive undertaking, they say. There are millions of artifacts, objects, specimens, and artworks on view at the Smithsonian's 21 museums. From Jackie Robinson's jersey to prehistoric skeletons. No, if they're prehistoric skeletons, they're actually just molds, casts. They're not going to keep the real things in a fucking museum where anyone can just touch them, break the glass and steal them. But, you know, that's part of the lie. People actually believe that there's fucking dinosaur bones in museums. If dinosaurs are even real. It really is a repository of human wisdom right here in D.C. Now, is it just gonna give me a bunch of history about something black people did now? Or is this article... Well, it's an NPR article. Leave it to them to go way off topic. That's gay. I don't want to talk about it anyway. It's gay, it's gay, it's gay. What else do we got here? I actually didn't want to talk about this one. Why is this pulled up? I remember closing this. Trump administration to link Tylenol to autism. Oh yeah, I remember reading that while on the shitter at work. You were right, Blaze. I do take sometimes excessively long shits, but usually because I'm reading something and I forget where I am and what I'm doing. Trump administration officials plan to link the active ingredient in Tylenol to autism. Monday, the Washington Post reported, which I managed to bypass their paywall because they're gay. Citing unnamed people familiar with the matter, officials plan to warn pregnant women against using the medication, one of the world's most common over-the-counter pain relievers, unless they have a fever. Earlier report that the administration was investigating potential links between acetaminophen and autism sent shares of Tylenol maker Kenvue Incorporated. Never heard of them. Sinking. Kenvue said that independent sound science shows that taking acetaminophen does not cause autism. Of course they would say that. If it was true, they would deny it. Who knows? I don't know. I've never done the research. Wouldn't surprise me, though. I'll say this much on the topic, that if you look at the cases per year of autism in births, or I guess it can be developed in childhood, too. Well, that tells me, especially if it can be developed in childhood, if you're not just born with it, it's something that we're doing now that wasn't going on 100 years ago, because there weren't autistic people 100 years ago. There weren't autistic people all throughout history. This is a more recent phenomena. Maybe there were autistic people, but we just called it something else. But to the extent that there are now, the sheer numbers tells me that this is something not natural, something that is man-made, introduced to either a pregnant woman's body or maybe the food or whatever that a child can intake that would cause them to develop autism. So, Tylenol, I don't know. I guess it's possible. Anything's possible, right? We strongly disagree with any suggestion otherwise and are deeply concerned with the health risk this poses for expecting mothers. The health risk? It's a fucking pain reliever. How is it a health risk to not... I don't take Tylenol. Unless I get a really bad headache, which is very rare. I don't take Tylenol. It's not a health risk to take it or not take it. It's... You either just man up and deal with the pain and then it goes away. If I'm in pain enough to where I want to take a Tylenol, chances are I need codeine, man. That's just how I look at it, though. I'm a man. I just grit my teeth and get through it, you know? It's not a health risk not to take a pain reliever. For expecting mothers, who cares if it's men or women? The facts are that over a decade of rigorous research endorsed by leading medical professionals and global health regulators confirms there's no credible evidence linking acetaminophen to autism. Well, why would they come out and with a statement like that? Well, because their shares have fallen 19% this year on their stock price. Well, gotta do a little damage control, I guess. The Washington Post said the Trump administration will promote another drug, leucovorin, as a potential autism treatment, which would have been funny if Luca was in the name there. Leucovorin, a generic medication made by several manufacturers, is typically used in cancer treatment to counter the harmful side effects of other drugs. We think we found an answer to autism, Trump said during the memorial ceremony for Kirk. There's obviously something really wrong, and we think that we know what that is. In 2023, a judge rejected the scientific evidence behind the lawsuits alleging prenatal exposure to Tylenol caused autism. What does a judge know about it? Why is this rejected the evidence behind the lawsuits? Scientific evidence behind the lawsuit. You're a judge. You have no knowledge of this shit. You're just letting judges run the fucking country. It's disgusting. Your courts are contemptuous. Go ahead, hold me in contempt. I find you contemptuous. U.S. District Judge Denise Cote in Manhattan concluded that plaintiffs in more than 400 suits against makers and sellers of acetaminophen relied on flawed science in seeking to prove an increased risk of developmental issues in babies. What do you know about science, woman? I'd be more, honestly, it seems more likely to me that these makers and sellers of these drugs put a little bit of money in the judge's pocket to get this favored outcome. That way they didn't have to pay a lot of money to the people filing the suit. Makes more sense to me. But apparently there's a Swedish study that analyzed 24 years, found no increased risk of autism when their mothers took acetaminophen while pregnant. Well, like I said, I don't know if it's true or not. I just know that it is coming from something that man has introduced. It is not a natural phenomenon. Just look at the numbers, and I mean that alone tells you enough. And if you don't believe that, then there's really no hope for you. All right, last one here before I start my Christianity. New bill would eliminate federal taxes on Social Security benefits, and I mean as they should. You pay taxes as they go in. Why are they taxing as it comes out? You pay taxes when you buy a car. You pay taxes for supposedly to keep your roads in drivable conditions. You pay taxes on the gas that you use to drive your car. You pay taxes on everything else that you buy to put into your car, like oil and blinker fluid. You pay taxes on a house when you buy it. You pay taxes on it every year that you own it. And this is all after your income gets taxed. If you die and want to give your children inheritance, there's a tax for that. There's a tax for fucking everything. And what are they doing with that money? Well, look up how much a member of Congress makes annually. Look up how much money goes to NASA every day. Look up how much money we put into defense, which is understandable, but it's still pretty excessive. I guess it needs to be for us to be the best military on the face of the earth. Look how much money we give in foreign aid. Look how much of that money goes to people who choose not to work and instead get government subsidy. Like the person I'm living next to. Look at how much of that money goes to Israel. But this guy, Reuben Gallego, a Democrat, well, I mean, sometimes the Democrats get things right too, wants to take this tax on Social Security income, which has already been taxed, and do away with it. And I'm all for it. I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Exactly. And by help, I mean take all of your money, tell you I'm going to use it for good things, leave you half broke, line my pockets, and then maybe fill a pothole on your street. Maybe. Probably take me a year to do it, though. Doesn't it make you sick? Because it makes me sick. Hey, that's government for you. I was going to say that's democracy, but I could see it happening in any other form of government, too. Even the monarchy that I praise so much. The king will tax your ass, too. I would hope he would do it less. And I would hope he would be more forthcoming about what he's doing with your money. But I guess it all depends on who the king is, right? Who should the king be? Well, since I'm out of news stories here, we can get right to it. The king is Christ. He's not the king of this country or of the ideal monarchist state that I would like to live in, whether that's comprises the land of the USA or anywhere else in the world. It could just come up out of the ocean for all I care. Oh yes, if I was the king, there would be taxes. There would be some taxes. But there would be, it would be like defense, maybe to pay public servants like the police, and I guess stuff like water and electricity. That would be it, though. That would be it. I wouldn't be giving all of our money to colleges or to foreign countries or to people that didn't want to work. The beggars would have to just be beggars, sitting in the streets begging. They wouldn't get EBT. Like, you want EBT? Okay, you make a certain amount of money, you need help. Yeah, but you have to prove that you make that money. You have to show me that you work. And, like, every 2 weeks they're going to be checking with your fucking employer to make sure you're still there. And then if not, they just take all the money off your card. I mean, I'd do it the right way. I'd give people, help if they needed it, if I was king. But they'd have to help themselves. Nobody wants to help themselves these days. They don't even want to help themselves become better people. Let alone, like, move ahead in the world. The guy I'm living next to, the fag, that I had to wake up hearing him get his fucking chute packed this morning. He's been out of work for over a year and a half now. Because when I first moved in, he was working. And about 2 months later, he lost his job, and he has not worked since then. I've been here for almost 2 years. It's been a little over a year and a half. How does he survive? Well, he gets disability that he doesn't need because he's not disabled. He's cheating the system. His mother buys his groceries. And somehow he's always got weed. Somehow he's always got his little fag beers, his seltzers. Somehow he's always got money to, go out and party. But he doesn't work. I don't understand it. I do work. Oh yeah. No, it's only one. The one getting the butt banged is probably the one that doesn't live here, his little fag friend. Because he lives alone. Yeah, he doesn't work. I work. I make more money than he ever did when he had his job at the laundromat. And I'm still broke all the time. I could still barely afford my shit. And that bothers me. Knowing that there's people like that in this world, in this country, and they're just letting them do it. They're just handing it to them. Here, you need some money? Here you go. I'm like, hey, where's mine? Oh, you work. Fuck you. What? I'm giving back. I'm paying into your system. What do you mean, fuck you? Where's my return on investment? But hey, that's democracy, man. We voted this in. We, the people, allow this to happen. How mad can we really be when we don't ever, year after year, do anything to change it? It's just been getting worse and worse and worse. We're giving away more and more and more. We're letting in more people that don't need to be here and just giving them free shit. Oh yeah, keep having more kids. We'll up your payments. That's just what we need, right? A bunch more poor kids in the world who are probably going to grow up in the ghetto and just grow up to be complete scumbags. Chances are, not all of them. I'm not going to, but I'm thrown off here. This is not about Christianity. Israel flag, yeah, this is more about Israel technically, because most of these people that want to get you, you know, out of work and dependent on the government. Oi, well, come on over. We got plenty for you. And by that, yeah, I mean they're all Jews. I'll just come out and say it. All the people pushing this fucking super woke thing, and the ones who did it to the blacks in the 60s, trying to get them, you know, out of the family. Oh, kick the man out of the house, and the government will pay for you. You don't even need to work. Oi! And would any of this really have happened if these people had a solid, grounded faith in Christ? If they really were Christians, because they love to say it, you know, back then there were more Christians per capita, and especially in the black community. It's like, well, how Christian could you really be to throw your family away like that for a meager little check from the government? To raise your children without a father? How Christian could you really be? You know, Jesse Lee Peterson always says shit like that, but can he really be trusted? I don't think that they were per capita more Christian than even today. Not just the blacks, I just mean people in general. It was a dirty time back then. Fucking the amount of lounges, as they were called. This is what the nice smiling family in the picture in the 1950s. That dad was fucking going out. Oh yeah, I'm going to work, and then you know what he would do. He'd get off work. He'd tell his wife, "Oh, I gotta stay at the office late, honey." He'd go straight over to that lounge. He'd do some fucking blow and get his cock sucked. That's how wholesome they were in the 50s. Not Christian at all, man. Just pretending, kind of like a lot of Christians are today. I guess kind of like all of us are. Are any of us really Christians? Are any of us really putting forth 100%? Maybe like 70, 75. Maybe it fluctuates. Maybe sometimes we're at 90, then we drop down to like 40, and then anywhere in between. That's life though, man. We can't all be perfect all the time. We can't all be little Christs all the time. But I mean, it would be best if people at least tried some of the time. I gotta tell you, some of the people I used to fucking hang out with, man. None of them, I mean, at least back then, no one even pretended. The friend group I had, it was just a bunch of fucking heathens. But they were honest about it. And I say friend group, I mean, they weren't really friends. It was like, looking back, it's like, yeah, you've hung out with people for years. That doesn't mean they're your friend. What even is a friend? I would say you probably get more friendship out of someone that is a Christian than someone who will admit they're not, because then they will stab your back. I mean, anyone will, but in my experience, those people fucking turned the knife on me after years and years of me giving them everything. Everything. I did the most in that group, and they all knew it. And then once that stopped, once that went away, they all turned on me, and they came at me with the knives. They stole shit from me. I'm sure one of them fucked up my Lada back when I had it, because it didn't have the damage on it when I moved to that house, and I never even drove it when I moved there. It sat in my driveway for a while. And they'd come over and hang out. Yeah, you can smoke my pot. Yeah, I'll buy you some beer. 'Cause, you know, I thought these were my friends. This was like my early 20s. I was dumb. If I look back the way I should have fucking done things, I should have told everybody to kick rocks. I should have told everyone to kick rocks before I even met them. To be quite honest with you. And looking back, it's because, you know, I wasn't necessarily a Christian back then, but I feel like if I was, and I would have met these people, and I would have seen what they were about, I would have been like, well, they're definitely not even attempting to follow the faith. They're not even trying to live a righteous life. And I would have threw their ass to the curb. I wouldn't have been friends with any of them. I would have been going through my late teenage, early 20s with no friends. And I would have been better off for it. Better off for it. Everyone would have. We can all look back and say the same thing. Does anybody listening to this, anyone that will ever listen to this, look back and say, do you have even one real friend that you met in high school? And if you can say yes, one, you are lucky. Can you say 5? No. Can you look back in your early 20s and say, wow, all these people I was hanging out with, I would have been better off if I never knew them. Would have been better off if I just, the first time we hung out, I was like, yeah, and then just walk away. Never give them the time of day again. No, if you're like me, you're like, oh, we're friends, you know, I want to be a good friend. I want to treat my friends right. And look where that got me. Look where that got any of us. Wasted money, wasted years. Probably having people steal shit from you. Having them spread rumors about you to other people that you know. Bibby. Somebody should get him in here, man. We gotta do the Bibby and RDF stream. I'll host it. I'll even keep you guys from getting too out of control and talking over each other. I just want to see where it goes. I know everyone else in the chat would love to see where that goes. What do I got here? What do I got here? Belief, practice, spiritual change. Yeah, I mean, what does that really mean? You know, belief, we can all say there's, you know, we all believe in God, or that Christ is king, or Christ is God, however you look at it. And there's the belief, but that just exists like in the back of your head somewhere. It's like, okay, yeah, I believe this. And then there's the next step, which is the practice. And that is, I guess, you know, going to church, living a sacramental life, praying, reading the Bible, I guess. In my case, not eating certain foods on certain days because I'm trying to do orthodoxy. But the next thing is the spiritual change, the change of heart. He didn't block me. Yeah, I mean, I could try to get a hold of him. I'm not doing it tonight. That would not be on tonight's show. That would be maybe tomorrow's show or the next show, but I'll fucking try it. You send me his number. I don't know what the fuck to say. He probably wouldn't even remember Sixto. That's a very old name from that chat. People can be like, oh, what? That kind of rings a bell. Sixto? Isn't he the guy that used to super chat to Hake all the time? Yeah, I did. I super chatted a lot to Hake back in the day. But I had the money. What do you want me to say? Oi, got to pay the bond tax, you know? Wonder where that money went. Oi! Oh, what are you doing over there? Fucking cat's by the door. She doesn't go by the door. Someone gonna kick my door in? Did I start bad mouthing the Jews a little too much here? Huh? What's going on? Oi! But I think, yes, the spiritual change, that's where I was. That's like the final step, I would say, before you can move on to things like theosis. You have to basically lose most, if not all, that was before. And that includes people, which in my case I quite literally did. There is not one person from my past, other than my ex-girlfriend, but she is a Christian and always was, that still talks to me after I became a Christian. Not a one. Everybody walked out of my life. Even some of my family members. I haven't talked to half of them fucking years. And then the few that I did talk to this year, they talked to me like once. And then the next time I call them, they don't answer. They don't ever get back to me. And I'm sure that they're talking all kinds of shit to each other about, oh, he said this and he thinks he actually believes this, and like, yeah, good riddance to you then, all of yous. Get out of here. I don't need people like that in my life. There's a reason why my best friend of 15 years stopped talking to me over a slight disagreement in theology, because we're both Christians. 15 years! I'd known him since like 10th grade. And he just basically told me to go fuck myself. And he owed me money. You know, fucking other buddies of mine, I had a guy that owed me $3,000. What happened to him? Well, 2 years went by. His girlfriend called me, said, oh, he's going to pay you soon. And then a week later, he's dead on his motorcycle. I never saw any of that. His fucking grandmother, back when I was doing really well for myself, his grandmother, because I stayed with her for a little while, because she had a fucking room way cheaper than anything else around me. Her fridge went bad. I bought her a new fridge, $1,000. You think I ever saw that money again? No! I didn't really care so much because it was an old lady, but still, she said, oh, I'll pay you back one day. I'm like, sure you will. Other friends of mine owe me fucking, I mean, if I tallied up everything I've ever been owed by people that I've never been paid back for, it's probably almost 10 grand. 10 fucking grand. You know what I could do with that money right now? That could be a down payment on getting my fucking driver's license back. But because I wanted to be nice to fake friends, because I wanted to try to feel good about myself and get a little ego thrill, as Jesse calls it, from trying to help people. What was that little thing he always says about the turtle giving the scorpion a ride across the lake, and then the scorpion stings the turtle? He says, why'd you do that? I helped you. And he's like, you knew I was a scorpion before you let me on your back. Well, I didn't know these people were snakes before I let them in my life. Because even I was a bit of a snake back then. But I always tried to do the right thing. These people never did, and I always gave them the benefit of the doubt. Give them another chance. Like, oh, he was going through it that day. It's okay. And half of these motherfuckers that weren't around at the end because they fucking died from drugs or from buying a motorcycle that's too fast. Get my license back. I'll tell you that another time. We're not getting into that on stream. Not getting into that on YouTube here. But let's just say there's a lot of money that needs to go into it. And no, it's not a DUI. I've actually known people with DUIs that have an easier time. One of my friends who is now dead from fentanyl, he had a DUI, and he actually managed to get a hardship license during that process, and he had no money. He didn't have lawyers or anything. And he still had that license years later when he died. He never got his actual license back because he never had the money to. And it's only like, what, 10 grand off a DUI, something around there? I don't know, I'll have to ask my dad. He had one. This was like 20, 30 years ago. So, I'm sure the price has changed. I mean, even my dad, you know, that's one person me and him don't agree on anything. We have totally different worldviews. He's an atheist. He's a liberal. I'm quite the opposite. But I can say that that's like one real person in my life because even though, you know, oh, he's your father, he has to be. No, there's people I know whose dads don't talk to them because they don't agree on shit. Just like other members of my family don't talk to me. That's one real person in a whole world, a whole lifetime of just experiencing these vacuous, empty shells with human faces on them. These demons, these serpents, these fucking reptiles, cold-blooded, cold-hearted freaks pretending to be human for as long as they can before the truth shows out of them. Other than that, there's like you guys in my chat. And like one or two people I've known over the years that I worked with. Some of whom I don't even have a way to get in touch with anymore. Because I lost their number when my phone broke. I haven't been able to get it back. I could probably count on one hand the amount of real people I've actually met face to face in my life. Not counting my dad, because he's, you know, my parent. Even counting my dad would probably be on one hand. And then they wonder, like, oh, my dad's like, you don't ever go do anything, you don't have friends, you know? It's like, yeah, I got one friend in this city. You know what? He's 56 years old. He's older than my dad. I only hang out with him once in a while, but that says something, especially about my generation. You know, people here, my age, are fucked. They're all so fucked. Have I ever met someone my age that's a Christian? Other than the one I talked about earlier that I knew for 15 years that doesn't talk to me anymore because we disagreed on something very slight in Christianity. He's the only one I've ever met. Your family doesn't talk to you because you don't have a filter. Yeah, I think that's part of, some of my family members are like that with me. I don't fucking hold back. Even if it's something I know they don't want to hear. It's like, if I think you need to hear it, I'm going to tell you. I might word it a little differently. I might try to be a little less offensive about it. But no, I'm going to tell it like it is. Why are you biting? Oh, she knows it's time to feed her. I'm going to have to wrap this up pretty soon. The cat's biting my leg. Can you tell time? Did you, like, look up at the stove and see, like, yeah, I know what those numbers mean. Are you, like, sentient or something? Because she woke me up. I was going to be late for work, and she literally woke me up. If it had been 5 minutes later, I would have been written up that day. Because my phone didn't charge the night before. I guess the plug wasn't all the way in the wall. And she jumps on me and starts pawing my face. It's like she's saying, you're supposed to be... go to fucking work. Shovels up, motherfucker. I think my cat might be sentient. Because she's staring at me while I'm saying this. I haven't even said her name once, but she's staring at me. There's only one way to find out. Take some fucking mushrooms with the cat. Yeah! Except I don't do that kind of thing anymore. I don't fault those who do. I understand why people do it. I just, I don't know. Maybe some point in the future I might again. I feel like I'm not going to say outgrew it, but, everything it was going to show me, it showed me. Psychedelics, because I did acid, mushrooms. I feel like everything I needed to get from it, I got from it. And the last time I went and did it, I felt like, okay, I don't think I need to do this anymore. I've learned what I needed to learn. And even in becoming a Christian and moving towards orthodoxy, which is like a more in-depth version of the faith, I haven't really felt like I need to unlearn any of that, which is weird. Because a lot of these, especially Orthodox people, they like to say that psychedelics are more demonic influence. They say the same thing about pot too, but I mean, I actually see it more with pot than I do with psychedelics, surprisingly enough. You'd think it would be the other way around, but I don't feel like my experiences on acid or mushrooms were demonic. It like, because not the first time, it was a couple of times in. I think it was actually the second to last. No, it was the last time that I tripped. It was in like 2018, maybe? Is what, during that trip, listening to a specific song, which, now that I'm thinking of it, I'm going to make it my next stream, that will be the intro song. While listening to that, peaking on a, probably a little over an eighth of shroom tea that I made, which is fucking disgusting. During the chorus of the song, I came to the realization that good and evil were absolutely a thing in this world. Hey, get off of there. Good and evil were real. There's no doubt about it. And within a few weeks, that is what fully brought me out of my atheism, because I was an atheist for a long time. So I can say that, you know, if mushrooms, psychedelics are demonic, then why is it every time I've tripped, I've kind of moved closer towards being a Christian? It doesn't seem like something demons would want you to do. Now, I mean, I'm sure Jesse Lee Peterson would have a lot to say on that topic. And by a lot, I mean a whole lot of nothing. Look, I like Jesse. I think he's entertaining. He's probably a fun guy to sit down and have a conversation with off of his show. I could see myself knocking a few beers back with him. But man, his theology is trash, and I'd have to watch my drink around him, if you catch my drift. And with that, I believe it stopped raining. I would like to go get myself a... Has it stopped raining? I can't tell. It's too dark out. But I'm going to cut it here anyway. I've been going for over an hour. Usually try to keep these under an hour. But, good hanging with you guys. Chat. The two faithful. Since the other two quiz decided not to jump on. Or N-word Steve. He has never jumped on one of my shows. Believe it or not, he wants to co-host. I can't even get him in here to watch a show once. So that's not happening anytime soon. But yeah, I gotta go wash my ass and take a fucking... get a fucking beer and feed the cat and hook up. Oh, I already did. I hooked it up. I didn't turn it on yet. I got my AV cables for my PS2 so I can play it on my little CRT here. It's going to be awesome. And with that, I'll be back tomorrow, the next day, next week. I don't fucking know. I don't know. It's gonna happen soon. Oh, yeah. I don't know. Oh, one more thing. One last announcement here. I don't know if you guys listened to the last show I did. The last part of the last show, because it was split into 3 parts, where I do my character voices and stuff. I've been thinking about and working on that a lot. My cat looks at me like I'm crazy because I'll just be carrying on a conversation with myself in different voices while I'm making dinner and shit. But I gotta practice and get good if I'm gonna do these these shows. I want to try to do one once a week. Friday night, I want to do my character bits. See how far I can take it. Gonna do it like Phil Hendry. I'm looking at a couple old landline phones, like from the 70s, 80s. And you can take one of those and make a little modification to it, plug it into your computer, it acts like a microphone, but it sounds like one of those old landline phones. So instead of doing the voices into this mic, I can do them into a phone and they'll be more believable because they won't be as clear. So we'll see how far I can go with that. With that said, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in. James Hake's a faggot. And I hate niggers.